Hey, this is the real IntellectualRadio.com. You know our segment, another perspective. I got the whole crew on deck, 100K. My boy Chris and Marcus Walls. You feel me? We got a lot of stuff going on today. We got things we got to talk about: government, Trump, Warren Buffett. I want to bring some things up about Warren Buffett, but let the guys go ahead and represent themselves.
How y'all doing? This is Chris Davis tuning in live on. You're tuning in www.intellectualradio.com. It's such a blessing to be here on this Wednesday afternoon. So I'm just excited to be here. We're going to talk about, for this weekend, we have Mother's Day coming up. So shout out to all the moms out there. Even though I lost my mom 5 years ago, but I'm still going to celebrate her in spirit. So it's a blessing to, to acknowledge all the moms out there, or soon to be moms. We don't want no baby mama dramas on Mother's Day weekend. So, but it's good to be here. So I'm going to tune it into with my brother, Maurice Walls, AKA Maurice Walls.
Yeah, it was cracking, lacking and stacking, everybody. Like Brother Chris was just saying, man, it's always a blessing to be here, especially amongst this positive group of gentlemen here. The brother Aaron, my brother 100K, Chris, and myself, moi. So, we're going to be talking about a host of topics here, and we just want you guys to just, tune right on in. Feel free to leave some comments and just dive right on in, man. This is all about a thought-provoking platform filled with positive energy, positive vibes, and just information that we were going to give out to you from another perspective. I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic on to brother 100K, Mr. Kareem.
Good afternoon, people. Forgive me, I'm a little bit under the weather. I have a sore throat, but I'm going to get through this program. It's feel good to be back. Got a lot of things to talk about on the agenda. You're now in tune with another perspective on IntellectualRadio.com. So let's just get to it.
All right. Hey, Coach V, I see you, brother. Trap left, trap right. But anyway, I was thinking about bringing this up about Warren Buffett. He's a very intelligent man, a businessman. And last week I heard on the radio that if the Senate and the House of Representatives change some of the percentages, he can change the deficit in 5 minutes. And for him to say that, I was like, wow, this man got control over the United States deficit like that. So I was like, why not? Because I talked to people about him and they said that's a mentor, a business mentor for them. So, I'm not into Warren Buffett like that, but I would love to get educated by my panel about that. So go ahead, say something about that.
Well, I believe that we got to be in tune with Warren Buffett because we're talking about Obamacare here that's trying to defame his name. And we don't want that to happen because you have so many people that's like, they don't even know like what's really going on in the world today, such as the Obamacare. And we just got to be in tune with that because, it can be slipped under our fingertips,
right?
Because you never know. I mean, this man can have a flick of a switch and things just change all of a sudden.
Right.
So, I mean, you never know. So we just got to be alert of what's going on in our community as well. So, Maurice, you want to add on to something like with Warren Buffett?
Yeah, I'm not what I was talking with Brother Ace. I was talking to Brother Ace earlier about this particular situation. I said, I realized that Warren Buffett is very, financially literate, and it's unfortunately there's so many people are financially illiterate. But at any rate, the whole issue dealing with the Obamacare, just piggybacking off what you're saying, I think, first and foremost, I believe that the Obamacare is, which is really called the Affordable Health Care Act. I think the whole purpose behind Donald Trump or Donald Slump and his crew trying to slash this bill or destroy this bill completely is for the purpose of defaming the name of Obama, because of the simple fact that, it just seems like to me, anytime you have, and I'm going to get back to Warren Buffett, but it just seems like anytime you have an intelligent, well-spoken, eloquent, educated brother, who actually comes from humble beginnings, once he has the opportunity to share the platform or to be in a position of power and to resonate, with that type of capacity, then you're going to have these slanderous, racist, prejudiced, slanderous, racist white people. Not all whites. I'm not gonna sit there and say that.
Ones,
right. I'm not gonna say that all white people are racist and prejudiced. I mean, we all have prejudice, and prejudice and racism are actually two different things, two totally different things. But at any rate, it just seems like every time you have a brother that's in power or gets the power, they always look for a way to defame the character, just completely just bring this person down. And Obama, all he was trying to do was just make it a way for people to have access to something that other people in other countries get for free. There's countries like overseas. I've been to 4 countries outside the United States, and North Africa, France, Italy. Totally different. When it comes to, different in some aspects. I mean, you still have your little racism and stuff like that. Even their racism is different from American racism. But I mean, most of those countries, even though the taxes is like super duper high, they allow you to have access to affordable or even free healthcare. In addition to that, education too. And that's all Obama was trying to do. And here it is, we live in a country where we get a annual gross, what is annual gross, like what, in the trillions? Maybe trillions and zillions. And you mean to tell me we can't allow or provide that type of medical care for people who are below the poverty line? That's all Obama was trying to do.
And my is a scratch on the head right there.
And my thing about it is like this. I don't know what you call a health care for when it seems like they don't care if your health is cared for.
And that's not to cut you.
No, go right ahead. Go ahead.
That's the point I'm trying to make. If we stand on the power is in our hands, bro. I mean, let's keep it real. But we have been sung so much where people didn't, stop caring. And that trickles down. Anything that happened in the government sector trickles down to the lowest of low people. And that's messed up because of the simple fact we've been demonized, we've been shunned, we've been talked about, we've been discriminated against, the whole nine. But remember, the voting and the power is in our hands. If we don't want that cat in there, we can get him out. Yes, we are also going through Russia being involved with the votes, whatever. Let's start from the alderman on up to the mayor, to the governor. We got the power of them. We run Springfield. Springfield working for us. We don't work for Springfield. Yes, it looked like that we working for them because they taking our money, taxes, and everything else. But for Warren Buffett to say it'd take him 5 minutes to change everything if the Senate and the House of Representatives would just change to percentages of what, I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but I can tell you, if you can cut some of them percentages, the Healthcare Act, the healthcare would help us. I remember we can be able to get free glasses. Remember, Kate?
Mm-hmm.
And now we have to pay $200-300 for some good glasses. Not going to Walgreens and looking through all them glasses just to make sure that we can see. No, I remember we could be able to get our teeth fixed. Now you got babies at 5 and 6 got bracelets. That's because of the calcium, the foods that they eat, the juices that they drink. All this trickles down to the deficit, bro. And we as people, we sit here and we just let it fly by. It gives a sense of no caring, and they lost the motivation and everything.
I would say that the situation we in, not just as Black people, but people overall, in regards to control, even the budget, rich people become wealthy off the back of poor people.
Right.
And that's the kind of system we're living in. So the budget being unbalanced is unbalanced for a reason. It could have been balanced years ago. We spend more money on incarcerating and building prisons and building infrastructure for military than any other thing that I can think of. But in regards to what A said, the power is with the people, but the people are so distracted that they don't have a sense or understanding what's going on because their focal point is focused on the wrong thing. And the power supersedes Trump. He's just a puppet. Okay. We have to come together as a people, whatever race you are, and take control of the system. That's the only way it's going to happen. Because what happens is you have things like racism, which is a tool to create divisions. Just look at the political system. You have Democrats and Republicans like each other. They're just there to play the division game.
They play the
so
role.
You can be so focused on them that you don't know what the people in power that are making policies on a global scale to shape not only the lives of us, but the lives of our children and our children's children. So what we have to do is come together as a people. That's the only way. So in Iceland, the people came together and overthrew the government. It wasn't in the media. And that's understandable because they don't want to give people motivation to do that here. But they overthrew the government. They went up in the buildings and got all the political parties out.
So basically, they was the middle guy. Basically,
like they went in. And what happened was after they overthrew the government, they put the people in power. So they gave the people who took their positions was the people. So different people got different positions. So now Iceland is ran by the people of Iceland.
So that goes to different countries as well, besides the United States and Iceland.
No, it's just this region. What I'm saying is that if we can have that type of motivation and thinking to come together and run up, it's not so much on a violence level because they didn't really give up, but they took care of their business. And them guys ran up out of there. There's video on YouTube about it.
I so agree with you. People should not be afraid of the government. The government should be afraid of the people.
And who said that comment? I like that comment. Who said that?
I got that from movie V for Vendetta.
So
you guys watch V for Vendetta,
but
which is my favorite
and that's
movie.
the thing. That's the thing right then and there, man. People lost their drive. If you can have drive to do all that senseless, put in the power, that strength, you can. Let me break it down in layman's terms. If you got strength to go turn up, you should have strength in really understanding how this government is working against you. And you have to be able to use your conscious mind how to discourage, how to block that. Not in violence. Yes, people ready to burn down, free at last, and everything else. But at the end of the day, if you use your educational thinking, teacher Chris, and your common sense at the same time we got online, we got Google, we got internet, we got all these type of social medias. We don't have to just keep calling down to Springfield no more. We ante up. You get up with the people that's involved. That means your community. If you don't have nothing but 10 people, maybe 5 or 1 that's representing your community, y'all go to the next people and get involved with them, and y'all collabo. See, everybody is about self because we was trained mentally to be about self. Yes, you have to be about you. You gonna love you more than anybody else, but at the end of the day, you still have your community. That's why Trick's about role models. We are the role models because look at your Facebook page. Look at your online page. Look how many people that follows you. They see something in you that they haven't seen, and then they see that you're doing something positive, and now you're opening up the subconscious mind.
I had a lot of feedbacks ever since we did the shows. and people have been commenting on it. I didn't know. I'm thinking they just watch it just to be watching it. So I've been giving a lot of great feedback to us. So shout out to us. We've been doing an outstanding job.
Yes.
This is our 9th show. So it's been such a blessing to be here, Brother Ace. I really appreciate us being on as the host on Another Perspective. So we're going to
on IntellectualRadio.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're just going to keep on pushing. We're just going to keep on pushing. But again, we just got to keep in tune with everybody. And so we just got to give a lot of feedbacks from everybody.
Yeah.
And so just don't be afraid to say what you have to say.
That's what it's called in Another Perspective.
Yes.
That means your comment ain't got to be the world's comment. That's how your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are. That you have the right to say whatever you want to say with respect, though.
Absolutely.
You know,
If you look at the culture we're in, it's built to keep us distracted. It's like the entertainment roller coaster is something that you never get off of. You have social media, you have movies, music, all of these things that we invest our time into that keeps us distracted from the real agenda. Like I was saying earlier, the power supersedes Trump. You got to get into the Bilderbergs, the House of Trilateral Commission, organizations like this. You got to get into the 8 families like the DuPonts, the Rothschilds,
The Rockefellers.
the Warburgs, the Windersers, people who, these 8 families that control probably 90% of the world's wealth.
They're not rich, they're wealthy. See, wealth is different because rich is like from a time being, but wealth is from generation to generation. It keeps going like a cycle.
You can't become wealthy. You have to inherit wealth. You can become rich, but you have to inherit wealth. But these are the people that we have to focus on that works behind the scenes. It's just like going to a Burger King. I remember
we discussed about that.
The rapper
KRS-One.
KRS-One.
Yes.
He said, I can go in, I can see the manager. But above that manager, you have the board.
right,
And the president, if I look at the president, he's the manager at Burger King.
right.
What we need to talk to is the board, because they're the one that trickles down policies for the manager to enact.
Right.
And so once we get focused on that and allow ourselves to stop being distracted by things that doesn't matter, that doesn't affect us in a positive light, that doesn't allow us to operate on higher frequencies, then we're going to constantly, as a people, whether you're black or anyways, we're going to constantly be in to the position that we're in. Now, the Obamacare Act, that will affect 24 million people that now have access to health care. I just came from the doctor, at this point, like pre-diabetic. But when I spoke to my healthcare provider, he said, hey, take care of that, because become diabetic, it is really expensive. Like he said, the cost for being diabetic is really expensive. And not only that, we're living in a world where the cost of everything is skyrocketing.
Ooh.
The cost to eat, the cost to drink water. I feel like in a minute we're gonna be paying for air. I want to
put air in my mama's name.
The course that we're going on, I feel like in a minute we might be paying for air, let alone healthcare. But if you look at countries like Libya allows free healthcare. You go into a hospital, no matter what you have, and get taken care of. Free education. If you don't want to get educated there, they paid for, when he was alive, he paid for his people. Yeah, Gaddafi paid for his people to go abroad to study wherever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
If we're the richest country in the world, supposedly.
But we the stingiest, because that's the thing. We the richest country in the world. This is the free world. If it was so free, why are you stepping on the necks of the poor?
And I would like to just jump right in real quick. Part of that is because of the simple fact that, first of all, when these laws were designed, they were not designed with the black man in mind. Okay. So that's why, that's the reason why our people, and this is like the premise of my television show that I'm writing, Uptown Tulsa is a television show I'm writing. We need to come up with a plan for the redistribution of our own wealth.
Right.
Because Because the thing about it is they're not thinking about us. And be perfectly
But we the biggest spenders though.
We are one of the biggest. We are one of the biggest
stuff.
We are one of the
that's unnecessary.
We are one of the biggest spenders. And like I said, that's piggybacking off the last show we had when they said, "Oh, yo, black people, we have like $1 million worth of $1 trillion worth of spending power." I don't believe that. I believe that's just a ploy to try to make us look financially illiterate. Because if you have $1 trillion worth of spending power, then what are you doing with all this money? You don't control any policies.
Well, I could kind of. No, it is $1 trillion spending power. The reason why we don't see it, because we're putting the power into the hands of other people outside of our ways. When we spend, we don't spend with each other. We'll never see that power, that $1 trillion spending power, as long as we allow that money not to revolve around the community before it leaves. That dollar in our community needs to circle our community 11, 12, 15, 20 times before it even exits, like other communities does. So the $1 trillion spending power is there. We're just giving it to other races and other cultures, and they're feeding. It's a feeding frenzy off the black community. If you go in our communities, you see liquor stores, corner stores, submarines that's not owned by us.
That's owned by Arabs, Hispanics, and they take that money and put it into their other countries.
They send it back to their country.
Exactly.
Right. But and so then have the nerve
about us though.
Oh, let's talk about that a little bit.
Then
they have a nerve to tell me, Brother Earl, they had a nerve to tell me I got to spend $10 off my credit card in order to buy something. They tell me that I have, if I wanted a $3 item, they tell me the limit is $5. You got to spend $5. Who told you that?
That's
because you got a little piece,
and it's our money,
right? You got a little piece of paper. You have to spend $5 or more to order to use your credit card because they charging them 50 cents extra for tax.
Because they taking that money to go back into their
and then if you say no, well, you can't. Okay, I tell you what.
So my money's not good enough for yours.
I tell you what. If the whole block, the whole neighborhood stop shopping at this store, then what's gonna happen? You're gonna have to move somewhere else. Because I'm not no dummy no more. You see what I'm saying? That's the reason why, like us, look at this. This is power right here at this panel. Marcus, you're a writer. You're supposed to be up there with what's the guy that wrote Power, all of that?
Or 50 Cent and all those guys.
Yeah, you're supposed to be that, but the hood version. If you're gonna write the real. Chris, if you're gonna teach the real. Okay, if you the tech guy, teach them how to break that computer down and put it back together so they don't have to go to them Chinese people. You can come right to you. And then you teach the people that you just like, I'm going to use this as an example. Remember the movie Hidden Figures? That one teacher that reprogrammed that IBM computer, she was teaching her other kids. But it was one, Taraji, that knew just a little bit. She could look at this wall and dissect the numbers like it was dominoes and checkers. So if we can do that whole structure in our neighborhood, do you know, boy, you'll have people from all over the world coming to us.
I seen this movie. I forgot the name of it, but it's where I got this concept of ownership over money. In the movie, you had these.
Say that again.
This is where I got the concept of ownership over money.
Ownership over money. Okay.
Ownership over money. So in this movie, you had some black characters robbing jewelry stores and banks and stuff like that.
Wait a minute. I think I know what movie you're talking about. Did this movie just came out?
It was on some no, it's been out for a while. It was on some Robin Hood stuff. So what they did was they robbed the jewelry and banks and whatever stuff they had. So they accumulated all the money, right? So what they did was protesting and boycotting all the stores in the community that wasn't owned by black people, okay? So over a period of time, it forced those owners to, close up shop. Mm-hmm. They then took the money they stole and brought up all the property and land with the people in the community. All the people came together. And they brought up the buildings, the houses, everything. And one of the guys in there, he was real good with finances. So he was educating all the people and stuff. So what they did, they came together and they took their money and they invested it. They put it in a bank account. He told them, well, this is going to accumulate over time. So the moral of the story is the bank that was preaching in the movie is that ownership is more valuable than money. Okay,
I agree. Ownership is equivalent to power.
Yeah, ownership is more valuable than money. So in this age, we get so many TV shows that say, "Hey, money, that big car, that big mansion, this and that." But they don't teach you the value of owning property, not just buying the building, because you can buy a building and still not own the land that building is sitting on. I'm talking about buying land. If you look at McDonald's is one of the largest real estate companies in the world because when they was getting established, I saw the movie. This white guy in there told the guy that said, "Hey, you're doing it wrong. You don't want to lease the building. You want to buy the land that the building is standing on, right, and then lease the land. You know what I'm saying? Then lease the land." And so once he got a hold of that, he started buying up all the land that the McDonald's was sitting on. So every McDonald's that you see in America, they not only own that building, but they own the land that it's sitting on.
You know,
and that's what we need to take.
Patricia just made a comment of what we were just discussing about. She said, "I have a good one for you. Every time you spend cash at a store and don't for your receipt, they can use it for their taxes and expectation in the black neighborhood."
Yes. Oh, you know what? That's the reason why when they say, "Do you want your receipt?" You say, no. They don't throw it away.
Please
they put it on a little what's that? A little screw or something, and they keep it. So what they do, they revise all them. You know, they file taxes every 6 months. You didn't know you can actually file taxes every quarter. You see, it's what 3 quarters in a month, 4 quarters, right?
Yes.
It's 4 quarters, right? So every 4 months they can go to the IRS and do this, then go to the IRS and do that.
That's crazy that you brought that up because this is restaurant in the community where I live. Everybody heard of Wings Around the World, right? And they just a newly owned restaurant that just got built where I live. When they first started out, they was giving out receipts.
Right.
Now when you go in there, they ask you,
"Do you want a receipt?"
Do you want your receipt?
Do you want your receipt?
Or they throw it in the box.
Just tax write-offs.
They use all of that because that's how they thrive off the taxes. They know the residual is going to be iffy. But that's why you got the ARAB.
It's a number game.
But I'm gonna tell you something, bro. They're not getting rich off the products that they selling. They actually getting rich off the paraphernalia that they selling. The blunts, the weed pipes, the
alcohol,
the bogus cigarettes, all of that.
Not only
the bogus
that.
blunts, all of they getting. I said, no. Let me do this. Let me take this, and I'm gonna let you
take your time, brother.
Hey, Kate, no, I was a butcher for a minute. Call myself a butcher. Listen, bro, this man sat up there and made $20,000 in 30 days.
Wait. Go back again.
He made $20,000 in 30 days selling squares. Only. I knew, look, he didn't have all the products in his store was outdated. I mean, outdated. It's canned and whatever. You at home as a consumer, you can eat it. But for as a business person, that date, if it's over with, it's over with. The man used to put 99 cent stamps on it and still be selling it, but he wasn't making money off the food, off the bread, off the candy, none of that. Newports, blunts, and wraps.
I want to ask you something real quick, brother. No, I'm sorry, honey. Kate, you about to
go
say
ahead, Kate. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's crazy that you said that because I know a guy. Well, I didn't know a guy, but it was information that was passed on to me. Rest in peace, because this guy's no longer here. But 2 BMWs and a house are selling loose squares.
Wow.
A black guy. And this is not even in a store. This is just on the street selling loose squares. 2 BMWs and a house.
I got them loose squares.
Now, another thing I want to say to piggyback off what A said is that it's about the overtaxation of their products as well. Because if I go to the manufacturer, I'm not paying the same price you would because I'm buying in bulk. So I get a discount on the products that I buy in bulk.
Right.
So I pay a little bit of this, get this in bulk, but then when I get it in my store, if I want to recoup back what I just spent, I can overtax you. And not only tax you, I can charge a little bit extra just to make a little bit more.
This lady is on the roll. She said in every housing black and Mexican buy get charged 15% more tax than anyone else. And the price of alcohol in black and Mexican neighborhoods pay 20% more than other locations.
Right.
Facts.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
And that goes back.
Shout out to Patricia.
And that goes back to what I was saying. The way these laws were designed, the way this country was set up, it was not designed with the black man in mind. They already established this from day one. Let me share a piece of information with you guys. It's historical fact. Did you guys know that most of the lynchings that occurred in America, especially against blacks, I mean, they had Latinos were lynched too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about many Mexicans were lynched in Texas. They don't talk about this, but most of the lynchings that occurred against our people were lynching. They lynched black people who were wealthy, who owned land, who owned businesses. And they don't tell you about that. And today they're still committing those same lynchings. It's not physical lynching. It's the lynchings used through the law. It's the lynching used through how they, like we were talking about, the taking away, rendering us powerless
On another
through money, through taking away our, the power of money, taking away our power of self-sufficiency, taking away our power of self-efficacy, this pipeline from school to prison, So the lynching is still occurring. No, they're not hanging by trees, but now we're hanging in poverty and in
jails.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's a mental
We're
lynching
imploding,
too.
not just exploding. Now we're imploding.
It's a mental lynching too as well. Because if you
Right.
look at the school system in regards to what they teach you, everything that you need to learn in regards to self-preservation, making it through our life, establish. You don't learn that in grammar. I mean, English, language, arts, yeah, that's good to teach you how to write, how to communicate with others, but you don't have any real estate classes in school.
Why is that?
Previously, you didn't have classes where they teach you how to set up computer networks or build computers. Now in some schools they have that, but suburban white kids had that for years prior to us just now receiving those resources. So I look at it like this: we need to be taught from first grade on up how to file taxes. If you want to get into real estate, the necessities that you need to know to establish that, how to run a business, because just teaching me math, reading, and language arts in school, and then I get out into the real world and I'll be like, what am I going to do? It's like when you get older, like moms always tell me, when you get older, responsibility going to kick you in the butt. But school, in some way, it teaches you responsibility, in some way it doesn't. But by the time we get out of high school or even going into college, we have to go take trades just to learn the things that we need to know in order to maintain a job.
College algebra.
But I think that stuff is don't really apply in the real world when it comes to getting a job. I can't go to an interview and say, hey, I know algebra trig.
Right.
Okay, we're going to hire you. Unless I'm going for an accountant.
Now, I'm going to show you the racism that happened to me just recently. At my part-time job that I had first, it was a position open for maintenance director. I've been busting y'all see me come into the studio with paint and everything on me.
Right, you're hard working.
And I'm still on the radio. And for 3 weeks, the administrator set up meetings with me. I come suited and booted, smelling good, coming with my A game, trying to get this job, and anybody that's at Oak Lawn can bear witness. They always shunned my day that I supposed to have my interview. Okay, but she was letting these other folks from the outside, she would give them their interview. But it was this one white guy that she really liked.
Mhm.
You see me? You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And just, what was that? Day before yesterday, she come to me. She said, Aaron, I need you to come in the office. And I said, okay, no problem. Because I was giving her the gas face, like, you did. So I sat down and she's like, I just want to let you know that I wasn't trying to avoid you. I know I supposed to have been talking to you. I know I told you that I was going to talk to you many a times, but I just wanted to let you know that I hired him because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking at her. I say, first of all, you hurt me by lying to me, saying that you was going to have the interview. I know I had to go through the procedures of having this interview within the company to get this position where we can have a one-on-one. But I say, I felt though if I was shown that y'all just passed me over, you made me feel like I was a nobody. But I was the one that's keeping this thing together after the guy left. But I'm going to tell you how God worked. The same guy that left just hooked me up at another assisted living, making more money, doing work, but not working as hard as I work for the part-time. So I'm going to tell you, what they missing is a skilled person that can handle that little building. But you're going to sit, that was part racist too, because you're not going to give me the job, but you set up here and got a job, gave the job to a white guy off the street. I can look at it two ways. That let me know that you didn't like me because you're the regional. She's the regional administrator. She the bosses of all bosses. We just talked about that the president got a boss, but she the regional administrator. She the administrator's boss. Okay, but if you say you got me on a hierarchy, why I'm still here part-time? Why you didn't give me one of your buildings that you're the regional administrator? Because at the end of the day, and I told her just like this, I said, this ain't the only facility that I worked for you all. I worked at 3 other ones and I held it down. I'm not gonna change who I am. Yes, I'm a little loud. My voice is a little raspy. Yes, I could be a little ghetto, but when it come down to getting the job done and it's dealing with those people in that facility, not on my watch is nobody gonna get hurt or burned down. That's all. I just wanted to throw that up when we talking about that. Go ahead, y'all.
Real quick question I want to ask to the panel and to all the viewers who are tuning into www.intellectualradio.com. Another perspective.
You feel me?
You did.
But we can move on from that. The Warren Buffett and the deficit. Let's talk about what's going on today's day. You know, we again.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, right. Oh, no, it's okay. I would just kind of just piggyback off what you were just saying, and we were just talking about the difference between racism and prejudice. And I just hope and pray you that everybody knows there is a difference between racism and prejudice. And what brother Aaron was talking about, the racism that he's experienced in the workplace. And I know we're kind of like segueing quickly between topics, but just real quick, just to point this out, prejudice and racism are 2 different things. Prejudice is when you prejudging someone, it's like preconceived ideals. Like you could be prejudiced against, there's people that are prejudiced against people who are fat, you know what I'm saying, or overweight. I don't want to say use the word fat, but who are overweight. So that's what a prejudiced person would call them fat, or whatever the case may be, or prejudice against people who are thin. They say, I don't like thin people, that's a prejudice. Racism is totally different. Racism is when you are in control and you have power and you're able to manipulate policies, and those policies will hurt people. That's where you get systemic racism and systemic injustice from. So prejudice and racism are 2 different things. Prejudice is prejudging. Racism is power plus control plus racism plus also discrimination, which is the physical act of racism. Because to discriminate means now you're using physical action to, to pursue your racism or to enforce your racist beliefs.
Question.
So,
but profiling is racist?
Well, profiling can have two meanings, because in fact you can profile someone based on the fact, like I was using examples like, I used to be profiled because I'm thin, I'm 6'3", only 200 pounds. They're like, oh man, you skinny, blah, 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 and that's probably why you're still single. And that's not the reason why I'm single. I'm single because I'm just, waiting on the Lord. God is going to, bless me with the right woman. But at any rate, profiling can be viewed as a form of prejudice, and it can also be viewed as a form of racism too. Right. But I know that racism is power plus prejudice and discrimination, whereas prejudice is just prejudging someone based on some preconceived ideal or preconceived notion.
So that's just control.
Well, I think racism is more control, because people who are racist, they have the power to control the policies that affect other people. Donald Slump, racist. In the 70s, he would not sell property. He would not sell property, I believe, to blacks and Latinos. So that's a form of racism. Prejudice is, you see someone like, for example, how we prejudge people, like we don't, she's too short, I don't like her, or too thin or overweight or something like that, or they don't make enough money. That's a form of prejudice. I'm not going to hang out with them. Racism is, I have the power to manipulate policies that can directly affect this person. I can keep this person down, keep the brown man down.
Okay, leading into that, the Trump administration got this executive draft, and religious organizations receiving federal dollars to hire and fire employees based on their beliefs. If enacted, the plan could allow employers to deny health care benefits for both birth control. In addition, federally funded groups could prevent married same-sex couples from adopting. So basically, it uses religion as an excuse to discriminate against almost anyone. It targets the LGBT people and women. Those are minority faiths and non-atheists, and almost anyone else will be affected. What do y'all think about that? Like, if a religious organization is getting federally funded, then this executive order will empower them based on your religions or beliefs, that they can hire or fire you, or not even provide or do their work.
To me, I think that's going to be a big total disaster. What they will feel about that, that's going to put a bad taste in their mouth when they feel some type of way. So I think that they're going to have to fight for this for their religious belief. So that they should just go ahead and fight for what they.
Do you know how many businesses and companies around the world are federally funded?
They're gonna lose that.
This is massive.
That's the thing I'm saying.
This is big.
How could you?
They're gonna fight for this.
Discriminate against somebody's religion?
They're gonna really fight for that.
I mean,
that's impossible.
That's freedom of religion. That's in the Constitution.
Freedom of speech.
That's freedom of speech. You can praise God the way you want to. Everybody know it's one. You know what I'm saying? So, but how you represent your God in your temple of faith, that's your business. That ain't got nothing to do with the business sector. And for Trump to try to control somebody, that's some out of the country. I want to be some type of control freak. That's what they do over there in the foreign countries, try to control who you. This is the remember.
So that's like they come up to you and say. So they come to you and say, "Oh, so what's your religious belief?" "Oh, I'm Christian." "Oh, wait, you don't got the part." What?
No, let me tell you something. If anybody tried to tell me,
but that does not got nothing to do with what I can.
But the thing, Chris. But at the same time, can't nobody tell me how I can praise my God. And
I agree.
If I get fired or get things taken away from me, my benefits,
that's going to affect the family.
No. I would rather sell loose squares.
I mean, it's just a way around it because we got so many talents. Business-wise.
That means we open up our own.
Different religions, like for if it's a Caucasian person, they say, "Well, we fired because of your religious belief." It's like they're gonna say, "Oh, it's the end of the world for me." But for us, it's like, okay, well, we can manage.
Because we already I'm glad you said that.
We can
I am
manage.
so glad you said that because we can manage because we already been broke. We know how it feels to we syrup sandwiches
throughout the year.
Grits.
Syrup sandwich.
Now you know what I'm saying? I wish it was a sandwich.
But you got some people that's weak-minded when it comes to, with their religious belief, and they can't provide because that's the only source
and
that
that
they
means
know.
that they're hypocrites. If you're gonna sit here and fire me or take my benefits away because I believe in my God the way I want to believe in God, that means that you're not a godly person. That means you're a devil. Because if you're gonna try to X somebody out because of what they believe in, really, bro, come on. That dude need to be in. He need to come to the hood. That's why he didn't come to UIC, because he know he was finna get beat down for real. And I ain't scared to say it. If I ever see him, I'm gonna hit him in the eye. I ain't scared.
These policies are really just an extension of racism.
Yes,
it's an extension of racism, and the reason why is because they know that we have a lot of new residents who are coming into our country, the United Snakes of America. Who practice the religious faith of Islam and and Muslims
and Sith.
Yeah, and the thing about it is just like since they built up over the years this hatred against the Islamic faith and Muslims and Gaddafi, and I mean oh my God, this could take like a whole another 20-25 minutes to talk about. This is the reason why that they're trying to incorporate these type of policies. It's a form of dictatorship. It's a form of social control. It's a bunch of hypocrisy because first you just said the church was separated from the state. Now you're telling me
the church is in the state now.
Not right. Now all of a sudden you're trying to incorporate these different policies. So yeah, it's an extension of racism.
Fellas, we have 10 minutes left, so we're just going to move forward into ending it with since Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. So 9 minutes. We're just going to do a little shout out to, Mother's Day.
We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
We'll do it at the end because there's one more thing I want to talk about.
Go ahead, brother.
Did y'all see it on the news where the CPD is trying to get high-powered weapons now?
Ooh. Nah, I never heard of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bro. They talking about getting high-powered machine guns to battle the gangs. But ever since that police... Okay, you got people out here that got these machine guns, and I ain't with all that. But for you to be the officer of the law, you want to get high-powered machine guns. And we'll talk about that the next segment. But they want to do that just to control the neighborhoods. And I'm going to leave that alone. We can start doing that.
Yeah, that's another serious issue because it seems to me like even though I know the police have paramilitary training, it seems like they're trying to really militarize the police. Exactly. I mean, with high power weapons, of course, that means they're going to be carrying armor-piercing bullets more than likely. You're talking about the high-power AR-15, AK-47s, and things like that. But I think they're going to stick more with the AR-15 because that's an American manufactured weapon. AK-47 that's Russian manufactured. But I mean, these weapons you can fire. Okay, for 3 years in the military, right? With these particular weapons, especially like an AR-15, you can pop off like 10. We say the magazine holds like maybe about 30, 40 rounds or something like that. So you're popping off like 10 rounds in 2 to 3 seconds. I mean, why would the police need to be popping off 20 rounds in 2 seconds?
Well, the militarization of the police started years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Years
they're funded by the DOD.
Yeah, they're funded by the DOD. It started years ago, and like I said, this is I call this the inner city plantation. We live in a prison that you can't see, taste, nor smell. Police is not there to serve and protect us. They are there to control us because you have, like I stated, the rich people that's in power. They don't want to get it to a point where the poor people are coming to them trying to get what they have. But in regards to I can't even talk right now. In regards to the situation with the police and the high-power rifles, that wouldn't be needed if Chicago wasn't a center for guns and drugs. The cartel ships everything to Chicago, and then from Chicago, things disperse to other cities. So it's like Chicago is literally
A
the
distribution hub.
headquarters.
The main
I
source.
seen a map. Of this guy wrote. He had previously worked with the cartel, and he was showing how their distribution system goes. Everything goes through Chicago from drugs and weapons, and then from Chicago they get sent to your Californias, to your other states. So if you're going to continuously put trains on a track loaded with guns, knowing that previously that train got hijacked by some young kids, if you're going to keep putting it in the same spot, then you're doing it purposely. You want them to find that train full of guns again.
Oh, absolutely. It's a plantation, and the officers are just an extension of the overseers.
Sound Daily said, be aware of the black trucks. That's what he said. Be aware of the black trucks. That mean them trucks that's all black that don't have a face in on it. 9 times out of 10.
Weapon distributors.
Well, we're just gonna close this up for the Mother's Day weekend that's coming up. Just want to give a shout out to all the moms out there that's doing their thing, raising your children the right way, and to making sure that they grow up to be successful as they supposed to be in life.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, like I said, my mom, she's no longer with us, but in spirit, she's always going to be a part of me. So I appreciate the things that she did for me as when I was from a kid, well, from a baby until, she left. So shout out to all the moms out there. So
shout out to my mama, Miss Sharon Wright. I feel you, baby. You my mama.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing will ever replace our moms. I mean, I remember, I didn't really get a chance to know my grandmother that well. And like I said, my mom had also lost her mom at a young age, as my grandmother. And that's one of the most powerful gifts that we have in the world is the mother. And it is a powerful role too. I mean, I know we need fathers, and unfortunately, and just speaking for the Black family, the nucleus of our family has been dismantled. And I understand that, there's a lot of homes right now that don't have fathers, and they have the mother. But the thing about it is that mom is such a powerful role. That is a symbol of faith. The mother represents a symbol of compassion. She is love. She is definitely an umbrella in a rainstorm. She's a blanket on a cold day. And we should love our moms. That's why it breaks my heart when I'm in the store or if I'm on a bus, right? And I'm hearing these kids and they cussing and all this stuff, and I see these elderly women sitting up front, and they saying, blankety this, blankety blank that, and I'm like, I just want to stand up and say something. I want to burst, but at the same time, I don't want to get into a fight, knock one of these guys out, and then I'm going to jail. So we need to respect our women, respect our mothers. I'm going to pass the mic on to Brother Kareem here.
I love my moms. That's the purest form of unconditional love, the closest thing to God. That God loves unconditionally. And so does my mother, despite me not fully having a relationship with my father and losing him this year. My mom has always been there and done whatever she can for me. Sometimes, as a kid, I probably was selfish in regards to what she was able to do for me at the time. But to this day, I'm still appreciative of what she was able to do. Despite me sometimes getting the things I want and sometimes not getting the things that I want. But the only thing that matters is that she was my mother, and I have my mother. And so I love her. Mother's Day is on my birthday, so I'll be celebrating my birthday and Mother's Day.
Happy birthday, honey.
And then also the next day will be my mother's birthday.
Oh, wow. So you got double trouble.
Double trouble, player. But pockets running thin, player.
So we're going to go ahead and close this out. IntellectualRadio.com. Another perspective. So next week, y'all come in and come on and show on out. I'm Ace the Real.
I'm a Honey K.
I'm Chris Davis, aka Smooth Cuts.
And I'm Maurice Walls, aka Maurice Walls. www.intellectualradio. Another perspective.
And you tuning in with another perspective. Peace and blessings.
Okay.